Hello everyone! Today, hopefully we're gonna finish up post Shadowbringers MSQ 5.55. It looks like there's only 3 quests to do, but since this is the finale for post expansion content, there's probably gonna be a ton of really long cutscenes. But then we'll just be able to sit back, relax, have a nice Friday night watching absolute insanity happen. You know, a normal Friday night. Anyway, we start off this next quest by talking to Alize, so let's just get right on it. I believe we talked to everyone last time, so I'm not going to talk to everyone right now. Just start with Alize and get started. The company we keep. That's the right quest, right? Yes. The company we keep. Alize can tell that you are itching to take the fight to the Telefori. Ah, brilliant. You are looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you came hoping for tidings from Kryl, I'm afraid we're still waiting. But we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place, but the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks to no small part to Hoary Boulder and the others. The absolute Chad, good man. Meanwhile, talks with the beast tribes are going over better than expected. Encouraged by Uldah's progress with the Amalja, Gridania has opened negotiations with the Ixal, believe it or not. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but when the Telefori still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. As I know you're raring to go for a fight, but I understand what you're saying. Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alphinaud, and your attendance is humbly requested. Ah, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telefori. In concert with all our new allies, the beast tribes have also been invited. Oh, that's interesting. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So, the Alliance would bring all of the beast tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan, given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady, and for their part, I am told the beast tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. Stoic nod. Stoic nod. He's learning. To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. Pray inform the Alliance that we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alphinaud without delay. Then I will bear your news thither with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. So obviously things are going to go wrong here. Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? Gee, Thancred, I wonder who. I move that you and Y'shtola lead our contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you were present for what promises to be a historic moment. I bet it's going to be a historic moment. Not the way you're thinking, Alphinaud. I think we've all played our part in that little endeavor, don't you, Brillian? Stoic nod. All present may rightly claim a seat. I do quite agree. But by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emmerich will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Yep, That sounds like a Stinian. Very well then. While those with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it, I suggest the rest of us make for Alphinaud, shall we? Well, I suspect this is not going to go according to plan. Don't forget to bring me something nice from Alphinaud. I can't remember how to do Tataro's voice. I shall take this opportunity to gain a better understanding of Sir Stinian. Being a elderzen of like age, 'tis possible we have interests in common. No, I don't think so. Mayhap I shall begin by lending him a favorite treat. No! No, I don't think so. Poor Stinian. Don't worry. I have no plans to return to roaming in your absence. I know you'd only chase me if I did. Well, I know Tataru would. Let's see, we gotta get all the way over to Alphinaud. Well, guess it's time to use one of those, Aetheryte tickets. Now then, where are we headed? Palace? Yeah, I think. Like the city-states, every beast tribe has its factions, each with their own agenda, making peace a complex proposition. But if the Alliance can come to an understanding with their leaders, it will be for them to resolve internal politics. The Eorzea cannot be the only tribe to have been targeted by the Telephory, and none of them will have taken kindly to having their people enslaved, nor their gods turned against them. Even with the swift intervention of the immortal flames, all too many lost their lives in Polgoth. Pagalthon. It's Pagalthon. Still closer cooperation between our peoples will be required if we are to thwart the plans of the Telephory. Honestly, the look on your face, eager to bear witness to another historic moment by any chance? I suppose I am, and the fact that our cure for tempering made it possible only heightens my anticipation. These two, they get along so well. I mean, they're they're tied for #1 Warrior of Light simp, so it kind of makes sense. Anyway, let's talk to this Resistance Guard and get into the meeting. We have been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Here we go. Didn't get a chair for the beast tribes? Seems a bit disrespectful. Also, only 3 came? Where'd the Ixal? Oh, the Ixal and their Sylphs are here now. There's the Beetle people and... oh yeah, that's like all of them.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Beyond forgiveness these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay! Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
No, Merit Whip, not yet.
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
The voices for the kobolds throw me off.
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
Well, I happen to be a god slayer myself.
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome. I beg your pardon?
He mad.
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus.
Oh, okay. He was happy.
Anything pretty without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We, Sharlyan, will play our part.
Well, you guys are gonna make us fight Lunar
We kobolds
Leviathan
have
or something,
not
right?
forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future as allies united in purpose.
Sounds like it's like a woman using a voice changer. The kobold voice. Maybe that's why it throws me off.
Ah! Make mock of the Ixal, the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets, pits brother against brother. Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
I mean, this was like the plot of ARR. Or part of the plot.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
So he's learning Stoic Nod.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
Don't worry, Alphinaud, I got it covered.
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telophoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea.
Do I have to?
What say you, my friend?
And just give it to Alphinaud. He'll do a better. He'll do a worse job at it. We call him the Grand Company of Eorzea. And sure, whatever. We call it the Crystal Braves.
But that's the name I...
Alphinaud.
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
Alphinaud. This is what he wanted in ARR. Kinda.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Stoke nod. Alphinaud. The Grand Company of Eorzea. I wonder what the Real and the other former Crystal Braves will make of it. Well, that's the point. We may have won the leaders, but now the leaders must win over their own people. No small task, I grant you. But we have come a long way since first we joined with Minfilia to bring an end to summoning. A long, long way. Forgive me for observing, but Alphinaud seems less jubilant. Might his thoughts still be preoccupied by the fate of poor Arnvald? It's a pity it took the threat of annihilation for everyone to cast their grievances aside, but better late than never, I suppose. Okay, boy. Come on, there we go. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed for the day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was as heartened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet, even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost. Inevitabilities I still struggle to accept. Palestinian can help you accept them. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many, many more. Elder Seatseer, how might we be of service? I seek Master Alphinaud's assistance in a matter involving Gridanian neighbors, the Sylphs. Stoic head turn. I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, and so you will be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash-Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, It is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a Grand Company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. I mean, technically Alphinaud has the experience. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphinaud. I know that it is a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests, and I have no wish to see those endeavors suffer the same fate. Alphinaud? Mayhap I ask too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance, for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from my failures as the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphinaud, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt but that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telephory and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? Who is he gonna ask? I mean, there's only like one Crystal Brave I can think of that's still alive, that isn't like at Mordona right now, or at Revenant's Toll right now. I can't think of an excuse not to, so yes, that's a bit mean. Don't treat little brother like that. Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it will be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. Okay, you two. 3. It will not be easy to revisit the past, but sometimes one must look back to see the way forward. That's very like him. At least that statement. I take it we will soon be paying the Sylphs a visit? How fascinating. It will be to speak with them in person, though I gather conversation can prove rather challenging? Yeah, I forget exactly how the Sylphs are, but like they're a bit weird to talk to. So, what's the plan, brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Yeah, that sounds like Alphinaud. Not long after that fateful day in Uda, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. That sounds exactly like something he would do. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone. Its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be crucial. question, namely, why? After the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together, and that this knowledge might help us prevent it from falling when those bonds are inevitably tested. Stoic nod. That is my hope, yes, but the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. True, that's a very good point. Then that's why we have Graha and Alize. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who have kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I've a mind to begin by speaking to Riol and Sharlyan. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Orings. Let us seek them out there. I don't remember these people. I think I remember Sharlyan, the name, but I don't remember who they are. Oh yeah, I remember Riol. Oh yeah, these are the two, but... Oh right, duh. They literally just said that we're gonna talk to the people that stayed, and that Graha and Alize are going to talk with the people that didn't stay. And then I remember that both of these, they've been in Revenant's Toll this whole time. While such briefing are seldom exciting affairs, their importance in coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Sharlyan and Riol have been most dependable. Oh, I didn't expect to see you here, Brilliant. But if you enjoy intelligence briefings, you've come to the right place. Yeah. Well, look who it is. And what brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I've been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. So you want to know what we decided to stick around with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As I once explained to Brillian, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert— oh right, shoot, yeah, that's right. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I don't think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. And as for me, my own tale, well, I've always felt the Scions have something in common with the old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak, and that's our creed. I still strive to live by it this day. As time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Whore Boulder to Mistress Tatar, we've all got something to offer. And none of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting. Which is what being a Scion is all about. Man, it's hard to read this. Also, I should probably be doing more of a Cockney accent, not a Southern American accent. but I can't do a Cockney accent. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Sharlyan, could you... Give us your thoughts on the Crystal Braves. Why do you think the Crystal Braves ended in failure? I mean, it doesn't matter, but... Well, it's found in ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there's another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate brand. And while I never forgive Illibird, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it all for the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we all got that shared sense of purpose, eh? And why? Because Tataru made us. Because Tataru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. That does not surprise me at all. I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Isn't that obvious? Thank you, my friend. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Oh, it's called The Company We Keep. Okay. I get that quest name. Speaking of former Crystal Braves, I have not seen Artemis of late. Constantly away on missions as he is. I wonder how he fares. I don't remember who that is. After the company heroes went their separate ways, I did try working on my own for a bit. And I'll admit, it was nice being able to pick my own battles. But if you want to make a real difference, you gotta find a good crew and stick with them. On official business, Alphinaud is keen to hear what Alphinaud and G'raha Tia have learned from the Braves who turned their back on the cause. Well, I think we have taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious of the less life-affirming testimonies await. Let us make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. I suspect it's going to be, there's two things. One is going to be that they felt that the ideals were too idealistic and that they didn't believe that they could happen, or they were only there for the coin and they didn't feel like it turned out as it should. Oh, I thought they were gonna meet up out here. Let me just go ahead and teleport them. Then again, I could be completely wrong. I am curious to hear what the actual reasons people left were. So let's go talk to Alphinaud and G'raha and see what it is, and see why. Or at least what reasons they were able to uncover. Oh, there you are. On the way here, I took the opportunity to write up my notes from our conversations with Sharlyan and Riol. All that remains is to add Alphinaud and G'raha's findings, whatever they may be. When Alphinaud sets her mind on something, there's no stopping her. I know. And her mind was truly set on finding former Braves. For a while, I even feared that what she might do to them. You made my little brother cry, you shall pay! She'd never actually say it, but that's totally what she was thinking. For a while, I even feared what she might do to them. But in the event, she was admirably civil, for the most part. Okay, Alphinaud, what did you do to them? Thanks to Tataru's ever-dependable... Of course they just went and asked Tataru. Thanks to Tataru's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphinaud, some of these comments were harsh. I can well imagine, But their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Thank you. I will set about adding our findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to Little Solace and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. Thought they were going to actually tell us some of them, but let's see. Leave me to attend to my report and join the others in Little Solace. I shan't keep you waiting long. I know how playful the sylphs can be. Well, they can't be any worse. They aren't any worse than the pixies, that's for sure. I'm sure he knows that firsthand. Alright, let's head over to the... Where is the place again? Little Solace, that's right. Let's go ahead and talk to Graha Alize and then Frixio. Though I had the honor of sharing a table with Elder Frixio in Alamigo, I did not have the opportunity to speak with him. I do hope my studies have granted me sufficient grasp of his people's customs. Now that I think about it, of the four of us, only you and Alphinaud have any real experience in conversing with sylphs. Still, it can't be that hard, can it? I don't know, Alize. I completely forgot how annoying they can be, but I have a vague memory in the back of my mind that it was not pleasant. Ah, welcome, Brave One, and friends of Brave One. How good it is to see walking ones again so soon after the meeting. Been a while since we last spoke. Should this one perform the customary dance of greeting? I don't remember that. Indeed it has. Though the palace was very pretty, the meeting was far too noisy for this one. So many shouting ones and squawking ones and chasing ones and no chance of carefree conversation. Still, this one is pleased all ones can be friends. Honored one Kanesena said that walking ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial ones also invaded Sylphlands and abducted many of these ones. So these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. This is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop telephony. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience, and any advice walking ones can provide would be most welcome. I feel like one of them is going to mess up. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one? And in quite a hurry, it seems. Alize, you must come quickly. What? Whatever's the matter, Alphinaud? Don't tell me, you couldn't read my handwriting. What? No! A Twin Adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. What? Sharlyan has sent an envoy, who is due to arrive at Gridania in any moment. What? An envoy? Could it be that Kryl has managed to sway the Forum? I highly doubt that. We shall know soon enough, but there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer. I really hope it's not who I think it is. But considering they're asking for both of them, I'm pretty sure I know who it's gonna be. And that's because I've gotten slightly spoiled on who the leader of the Forum is, but we'll see in a minute. Really? I can see why they might want Scions to be present, but us specifically? Wait, it isn't who I think it is. It is. I could scarce believe it myself, and when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told that it was one of Forchelant Levier. Yep. Their father. Your father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the Forum had journeyed here would be a surprise, but him? Yeah. Quite. I glean from this that you are taking this matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not the other 98 Forum members? Unless he volunteered for? He's probably going to say, you guys are idiots, come home. Because I believe I know his stance on his father's belief in Eorzea. It has been some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being? No, I doubt it. Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Frixio, loath though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies along with my report. Never mind. There will be time to talk later. This one wouldn't keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go. The audience will be held at the Lotus Sand, where the Elder Seedseer waits even now. Let us be on our way. I really want to see how this turns out. Because I've been curious about Sharlyan and everything since, like, Stormblood. Because I knew, like, in Endwalker you go to Old Sharlyan. Alright, let's head on over then. And then you actually met their dad. And you get to meet Amalys, their mom. Oops, I shouldn't have said her name. Oh well. Kind of hard to not see the Amalys and 2B thigh-high memes. Also, you people are weird. Welcome, Warrior of Light. The Elder Seedseer and your friends are waiting within. I really hope this is voiced, because I want to see this heated discussion. After all this time away, it will be good to see my father, even if it is at an official meeting. 99 may seem like a rather lot of members, but before the Forum was founded, every person of age in Sharlyan was given equal say in its governance. That does not sound like a good idea. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the Studium. As Alize and I are constantly reminded during our time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. During my time in Sharlyan, I heard much of Forshalon. Okay, I really need to pronounce this right. Forchenault. Levier. He is a gifted speaker, known amongst other things for uncompromising application of foreign policy. Like I said, this is probably not going to go well, because the Forum's policy is to not help out and just stay contained. So he's going to be very adamant about their not helping out Eorzea. My friend, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Forchenault. Forchenault's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Kryl permission to request Sharlyan's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of the reply may be, we shall soon discover. Oh no, I think it's pretty obvious. Oh no, another handsome elfman.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience.
Oh, and he's got the great voice, too.
I am Alphinaud Leveilleur, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Alphinaud, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care
Ameliance,
of
okay, that's how you say your name.
How is Mother?
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisoix, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals.
1.0 flashbacks.
Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene.
That doesn't surprise me.
And my position remains unchanged.
Again, that doesn't surprise me.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlyan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life. Who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlyan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald. One in which Sharlyan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
How would you know if you shut yourselves?
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider.
If you guys are cut off from everyone else.
You may feel safe on your little island across the waves. But if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphinaud is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlyan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
It's not gonna convince him.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlyan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline.
No.
But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure?
He knew you'd follow.
For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Better to fight and fail than wait for the axe to fall. To ignore the plight of others. He's gonna quote. I want to do that one. Is the power to save us, refuse, and condemn us all. I think all three of these are Louisoix quotes, but I know this one is Louisoix.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike her, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlyan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphinaud, Alizé, as of this moment, you shall no
I
longer
knew he'd
bear
do
the
this.
name of Leveilleur.
I knew he'd do that.
What?
Father.
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Alphinaud, while Sharlyan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlyan's hopes for the morrow?
He's trying to salvage
I have
it.
said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father, wait!
Don't bother, Alizé.
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
I figured he would do something like that. Also, this just kind of exemplifies the educated elite stereotype. Where they think that they're better than everyone because they know more, and then they take a pacifist stance because we are better and we know better than these barbaric fools. Yeah, well, those barbaric fools are going to save the world. It was not so very long ago that we had a friend and a neighbor in Sharlyan, and so I clung to hope that she might yet lend us her strength. But when she forsook Dravania, it would seem she forsook us all. In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state. Their refusal to aid us now, I am sorry to say, is entirely consistent with their historic position. Yeah, because they were in Ildeshire before. I believe that's correct. In Dravania. In Ildeshire here. And the Dravanian Hitherlands. I believe that's where they used to be, but then on the Exodus when they all moved back to Old Sharlyan except for Matoya. Is it we who walk the path of ruin? Time will tell. Yeah, I can see Alizé being completely beaten up by this. And Alphinaud will be beaten up by it, but he will try not to show it. So that's what he came here to say? I mean, I didn't really expect anything different, but I can understand why they would think otherwise. That we are fools for having the temerity. Okay, I need to look it up. Temerity. Temerity.
Temerity.
Excessive boldness or rashness, yeah. Temerity. That we are all fools for having the temerity to defend ourselves against the Telephory. And as for the rest, like it or not, this is what was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger, and as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Sharlyan who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, and so we shall face the Telephory without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Because he wanted to come so he could excommunicate the two of them. I think that's the right... No, excommunicate is religion, I think. Anyway. Why did they not simply keep their counsel, as they are wont to do? Because he wanted to come. Brilliant. Has Master Alphinaud arrived yet? Then it is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused the discussion no matter what, discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they are hiding something from us? That wouldn't surprise me. That might go some way to explain Master Fortunald's performance? When he said that they would know the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believed that they know how the world will end, and just simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That's interesting. That I do not know, but something tells me that they are not as unconcerned about the Telephorai as they claim. Interesting. If the threat weren't real, why else would they do so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea. I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Again, that doesn't surprise me. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like to tell you all to join me here, when the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in Eorzea stand on knife's edge, but with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Oh, he's wanting to visit Sharlyan? Yep, please do. Well, there are one or two things that to take care of first. Please do. Excellent. Obviously, keeping the Telephorai at bay must take precedence, but with luck, you'll be able to make the journey to Sharlyan ere long. It may take a while to secure entry for you all, but I'll let you know when everything is in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause to hope, yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible that Sharlyans hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt them in a change of heart. And so, for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request to aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telephorai. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlyan intend to do if we fail? They told you so? Guess there's no real point in me picking one of these. I'll just pick the crit one. I'm just gonna forget to use them.